show is brought to you by Safety FM.
The following program is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Well. It surely does not matter who the host is. That is for sure. You know that. I know that. Anyways, today's Monday, August the 16th of 2021, day 228th of the year. Yes, that is the amount of days that have occurred so far, in only 137 days to go. Hopefully you had a fantastic weekend and everything was going good and grand and all that kind of fun stuff. Anyways, we are broadcasting live from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse that is known as Safety FM, because we talk about that multiverse all the time. I don't think I give you enough time not to talk about it because we talk about it so much. So there you go. Some things to think about as we are talking, of course, first thing this morning. And okay, so we are also hanging out with that other group of people, the group of people that are from that other side.
Radio Big USA, Canada, UK.
Okay, so kind of let me tell you the format of the show and how the things work if you're kind of new to what we do here. So let me kind of give you the gig. It goes like this. We talk about the news and safety in the news and all that kind of fun stuff. We have some people that come in and give us the professional side of the broadcast network and talk about what they have going on. And then I come in and give you my jargon, nonsense, whatever you want to call it. And then we kind of go from there. On the other side of the equation, we have a box that is open in all our different social media platforms that you can come out, hang out in, type in, talk about whatever the hell you have going on. Or you can actually text in at our numbers, and that's at 866-930-SFM1. That's 866-930-SFM1. So there you go. Let's start this thing. I'm with you on that one. So let's get this moving and grooving, and we will get us into some feature story news first thing in this morning. So let's see what the professional broadcasters have to say, because that's always important to see what's going on with their end of the woods or their neck of the woods or whatever woods, neck, whatever combination of things. I mean, don't you agree? I mean, I would think so. I would think that that's what we need to be doing. So let's do that.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
I'm Benji Haya. Thousands of residents and foreign nationals are desperately trying to escape Kabul after the Taliban breached the capital and the Afghan government collapsed. There were scenes of chaos and panic at the international airport overnight as commercial flights out the country were suspended, with priority reportedly given to US military flights evacuating staff from its embassy. President Ashraf Ghani has fled to neighbouring Uzbekistan. The Indian government has asked its national carrier to put 2 aircraft on standby. Neha Punia has more.
India is yet to shut its mission in Kabul, but sources in the government say New Delhi is prepared for all contingencies. It plans to evacuate its personnel as and when needed and says it will not put its staff and other Indian nationals at risk. On Sunday night, a commercial flight brought back 129 people from Afghanistan, among them several Afghans who fled the rapidly deteriorating situation in their homeland.
Yeah, the people were very worried, so yet it's not clear who will be next president, what will happen, so everyone is waiting.
I can't believe the world abandoned Afghanistan. Our friends are going to get killed, they're going to kill us. Our women are not going to have any more rights.
Meanwhile, Afghan students living in India have made an appeal to New Delhi to extend their stay, saying they cannot go back to their country now. Neha Punia, New Delhi.
More than 60 countries have issued a joint statement calling for security and civil order to be immediately restored in Afghanistan, but activists are already expressing concerns for the rights of women and children. As the Taliban tightens its grip, the backlash against the White House grows after the fallout from America's hasty withdrawal from the country, as Nina Maria Potts reports.
The lightning speed with which the militant group has advanced has officials in Washington stunned. The Biden administration is coming under intense fire, both at home and overseas, for its wholesale abandonment of Afghanistan amid mounting fears that the country is now a potential breeding ground for al-Qaeda and possibly other militant groups joining the Taliban. Nina Maria Potts, Washington.
Officials in Haiti have confirmed approximately 1,300 people have died after a powerful 7.2 magnitude earthquake hit the country on Saturday. Thousands more have been injured, an unknown number remain missing. And those in England and Northern Ireland who've had both COVID vaccine doses will no longer have to isolate if they come into close contact with someone who's tested positive for coronavirus. Instead of quarantining for 10 days, they're now advised to get tested, but even that's not mandatory. Simon Clark is an associate professor in cellular microbiology at the University of Reading.
If you're a hospital struggling to get your staffing, then it's probably a good thing. But you have to ask what the consequence of that will be. And it will be, of course, that people who are infected carry on with their normal lives and keep on spreading the virus round.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks, looking today at the tensions in the US relationship with Britain created by the precipitate collapse of the Afghan government and the fall of the capital, Kabul. Prime Minister Boris Johnson is recalling Parliament to debate Afghanistan on Wednesday. Lord Richard Dannett is a former head of the British Army.
The situation on the ground is a tragic one, undoubtedly precipitated by President Biden's decision, his hasty and wrong decision, I will say, to withdraw all American troops by the 20th anniversary of 9/11. He's plucked a date, the 20th anniversary of 9/11. And of course, the tragedy of that is major combat operations by all the international forces stopped 3 or 4 or 5 years ago. And there's been a relatively small presence in the country doing the important job of providing technical support to the Afghan military and boosting their morale. And frankly, we were containing the Taliban while Afghan civil society was able to flourish. Sadly, by Joe Biden deciding to withdraw American troops, everybody else had to follow. That's encouraged the Taliban to get on the front foot. It's demoralised the Afghan government. It's demoralised the Afghan military forces. It is a tragedy that's unfolding.
And he says there must now be an official inquiry into how the UK's armed forces were put at risk by President Biden's decision. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
A reminder again of our top stories. Thousands of residents and foreign nationals are desperately trying to escape Kabul after the Taliban breached the capital and the Afghan government collapsed. The US says all its embassy staff have been evacuated to the international airport where there were scenes of chaos and panic overnight. And officials in Haiti have confirmed approximately 1,300 people have died after a powerful 7.2 magnitude earthquake hit the country on Saturday. Thousands more have been injured, an unknown number remain missing. That's the latest feature story news. I'm Benji Hire in London.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Do you have a claim and not sure where to turn? Coastal Claim Consultants are professionally licensed and bonded public insurance adjusters employed exclusively by you, the policyholder, to represent you after sustaining an insured loss. They assist policyholders in all aspects of processing the claim, working closely with the insured to provide the most equitable and timely settlement possible. They will provide you with comprehensive service, anything from inspecting the loss site, analyzing damages, compiling claim support data, reviewing applicable coverages, assessing replacement costs of damages, and negotiating your settlement. The adjusters at Coastal Claim Consultants will evaluate your claim for no upfront cost whatsoever. Coastal Claim Consultants' fee is based on contingency contracts and are paid when the insurance company sends you a check and it's in your possession. Coastal Claim Consultants are licensed to assist you in the following states: Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, and South Carolina. For more information, go to coastal-cc.com. That's coastal-cc.com for more information. lighting the way to recovery. Coastal Claim Consultants.
We all want to make sure that our family is protected in medical emergencies. What many of us don't realize is that health insurance won't always cover the full amount of an emergency medical flight. Even with comprehensive coverage, you could get hit with high deductibles and copays. That's why an Air Medcare Network membership is so important. As a member, if an emergency arises, you won't see a bill for air medical transport when flown by an AMCN provider. Best of all, a membership covers your entire household for as little as $85 a year. AMCN providers are called upon to transport nearly 100,000 patients a year. This is coverage no family should go without. Now, as a Jay Allen Show listener, you'll get up to a $50 e-gift card with a new membership. Simply visit airmedcarenetwork.com/safety and use the offer code SAFETY. And don't forget to tell them that Jay Allen sent you.
More sarcasm than a Mortal Kombat beatdown. Rated R Safety Show.
Duh.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. And they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's going to teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
The storks are bringing me a baby brother. We can do this together.
All right, let's go.
Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you?
What?
Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't? Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No.
Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this.
You will rock this.
To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
Cool. Very cool.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
Oh, you are listening to something, all right. We're just not sure exactly what it is. Anyways, it is 14 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely morning. You know, I got so excited to get you to the Friends That Feature Story New that I totally forgot to give you what the hell was going on over the weekend. So let's bring in some ambient sounds in the background here, and let's talk about it. So hashtag Biden must reign was trending on Saturday after a variety of reasons were given on why president should leave office. Oh, excuse me, not reign, resign. I'm learning how to read. But the main one was the promise over a month ago that the Taliban would not take over the Afghanistan after the order was removed from the U.S. troops, as it was as it was most of what comes out of Biden's mouth that the statement was malarkey. More than this, we can give you in the swamp if you're so inclined to know more. Another one was hashtag only you landed on Twitter as the top 10 trends on Sunday as users raved about the new gospel track titled Only You, the song by Yixemi Ogunami. There you go. Another hashtag that was going on, what not to do on your wedding night, was trending on Sunday. Tweets included show her the Dateline episode where you were featured in, say someone else's name, change your mind, invite your dad, sleep with the best man, and drink too much. So I guess that was some things. Another hashtag that was hitting was William White Day was yesterday, made up by the totally fake holiday created by in honor of the TikToker William White, aka Whitey. And then last but not least, it was making the sequence yesterday was this. Hashtag I got vax, did you? Was trending over the weekend. The hashtag was used by Twitter users who got the COVID-19 vaccine and wanted to brag about it with their social media's followers. So there you go. The question, of course, that came up during that whole thing was worth asking, does the vaccine become more effective if you mention it on social media? I don't know. If you get social media likes on it. Anyway, some things to think about as we are moving and grooving this morning. So let's get you to why you're here, because you're here for the news. You're here for the news. Let's get that out of here. Let's get the background music out. So let's talk about some things real quick, because it is early on this lovely Monday. So here you go. New York City has surpassed 1 million COVID cases since the start of the pandemic. The City Department of Health and Mental Hygiene reported that they have now been over 1,469,000 confirmed and probable cases in the 5 boroughs. More than 33,600 New Yorkers have died from the virus, and the number of total hospitalizations throughout the pandemic sits at just over 117,000, or about 12% of total cases. More than 8.8 million people reside in the city. So there you go. There you go. So what do you think about this when you hear about this? I mean, I know there's a lot of stuff that is going on recently in New York that we could probably sit back and talk about. Not sure if we really want to go down that path at this particular moment, but something to think about for sure. So as all of this comes up and we keep on talking about this, it seems like it's not going away anytime soon. So I think we need to make sure that we still survive and live inside of that thing as we're talking about it. I'm going to SeaWorld tomorrow. Okay, good for you. Time to buy the expansion. The expansion of SeaWorld? I don't know what the hell that means. Okay, more than 700 people are dead after a 7.2 magnitude earthquake in Haiti. Hospitals in the area said they were overwhelmed with injured patients, as more than 2,800 were hurt in the powerful quake. Emergency services were sent out and hit Les Cayes to help coordinate the local response teams. What would prove even more devastating is if the area is expected to hit today by Tropical Storm Grace. So now you got some other things to worry about as well, as we are talking this morning for sure. I don't know. A lot of stuff happens. A lot of stuff coming about as we are talking. So definitely keep the people in Haiti in mind as you're going out throughout your day here. Anyways, let's continue talking. A Wisconsin woman accidentally shot her friend while using a laser sight on a handgun to play with a cat. According to the criminal complaint, the 19-year-old woman was charged with negligent use of a weapon brought to the Kenosha apartment by a 21-year-old man. The woman, who eyewitness said had been drinking, picked up the gun and turned the laser sight and was pointing it at the floor when they to get the cat to chase when the gun went off. The man who brought the gun was shot in the thigh. How many times does this lady shoot? Was shot in the thigh, and he was taken to the local hospital. No words on the condition, but is facing charges for violating bond conditions that prevent him from having a weapon. Okay, so hold on. Somebody came over. They said, let's do the gig where everybody hangs out and we get our drinking on. And then all of a sudden you busted out with a gun. And you thought it was a good idea to have a loaded gun as you were playing with a cat. Probably not something to be laughing at, but something to really be aware of, because what the hell is going on there? So, I don't know. It definitely sounds. I'm with you. Reckley, cycly, sell, whatever. Going ham, son. Yeah, that's for sure. The U.S. is averaging about 650 deaths a day, and an 80% increase from the 2 weeks ago. While the data of victims during the Delta surge is limited, hospitals are reporting more admissions and death among the people under the age of 65. The majority of those ending in the hospital and dying are unvaccinated. So here it comes again. Here comes that conversation that we continue to have about vaccinations, non-vaccinations, and it becomes more and more interesting as we're talking about it. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, we continue to talk about the variants, and we keep on talking about what we're seeing and how things keep on changing all the time. At what point do you say, okay, go ahead and do it or not do it? I mean, I don't know. I'm still going to stick with what I've been saying the whole time. Case by case scenario, and you have to decide what is best for you. I don't think somebody else can make the decision for you. I mean, as much easier as people would be like, oh, somebody can just tell me what to do. No. You're going to have to decide on what's going to be the best outcome, because that's where it's going to get a little icky if you don't turn around and make the decision yourself. But I think you already know that I was going to say that, so I'm not saying anything out of the ordinary here.
You are listening to a radio god. What? This has to be an error. That host is not a radio god. Anyways, this is the Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Okay, officers from Hamburg, Germany performed CPR on the Chihuahua last week after a distraught girl ran into the police station saying that the dog had stopped breathing and she accidentally dropped it. What? After checking the pup's vital, an officer cupped the dog's snout and performed mouth-to-mouth resuscitation and massaged the tiny heart all the way to a nearby vet clinic. A spokesperson for the Hamburg precinct said that the vet's office called to let them know that the dog was in stable condition. I mean, I guess that's really going above and beyond the call of duty here. Because, I mean, I don't think a lot of people are going to say, hey, let's go ahead and take care of the doggy-oggy and throw down with the dog there and say, hey, this is the thing I'm willing to do. I mean, I guess it's good. It's a good thing to do. But, a little different approach, that's for sure, as we are talking this morning. Anyway, it is currently 23 minutes past the top of the hour, and we are still hanging out. 5-year-old Michael Joseph Vaughn, who vanished near his Idaho home nearly 3 weeks ago, is still missing. On Friday, investigators said that they are yet to find any signs of the missing child. Idaho mountain search and rescue teams with canines have continued operations on both Banks and Snake River, with other search parties to check the downstream near where the child was last seen. Drones have also been sent out in search of the missing boy, along with the scent tracking dogs. More than a dozen law enforcement officers, including the FBI, have teamed up to scour the 3,000 acres of land. Over 250 tips have poured in over the last few weeks. So there you go. So I don't know. Okay, hello, Store Deck. I'm giving you the shout out that you're asking for, just for the sake of doing it. Okay, July was the hottest month in 142 years. And what does it say here? Of the record keeping, according to the U.S. weather officials, extreme heat waves struck parts of the U.S. and Europe last month, beating the previous record set in July of 2016, tied again with 2019 and 2020. The National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration revealed the last 7 Julys from 2015 to 2021, that's just some math there, have been the hottest in record according to the NOAA. This past one, record of 1.67 degree warmer than the one from the 20th century average for the month. The last in the globe of July cooler than the 20th century average of 1976, which was also the last year that the globe was cooler than normal. So there you go. Let's see. What do we got going on here? Itchy Tacho. Anyone else getting lag on here? Yes, there's all kind of lag this morning. Just FYI, I did notice that. Also stay in chat with okay, blah, 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 blah. So a lot of stuff going on as we are always talking, always doing the things that we do around here. So I don't know. I mean, it's kind of interesting taking a look around and going, okay, what's happening? What's going on and all that fun stuff. So let's go into some not feature story news. We're going to go into some stock market information because, of course, we never talk about what happens on Friday and normally on Monday. So let's do that now so we can get Johnny Smalls inside of here and he can tell you exactly what's going on.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Monday, August 16th, 2021. Equities shrugged off another hot month of inflation data last week in favor of earnings. The S&P 500 moved up to set a new all-time high Friday. The question now is whether or not the index can keep it. Along with inflation, the Delta COVID variant has emerged as a real threat to the market and could have a serious impact on the second half of the year. Estimates for earnings continue to rise, but the pace has slowed over the past week as a rising number of companies warn the market about the second half outlook. This week, the focus will be on the consumer. Not only are we expecting a read on retail sales, but earning reports from a host of major retailers, including Home Depot and Walmart. The big box retailers are expected to post slight year-over-year revenue declines in a face of last year's tough comparisons. You can get the inside track from Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com.
Okay, thank you, Johnny Smalls, for that one. Always some good stuff going on with Johnny Smalls, talking about the things that are going on. So let's talk about this real quick, because this is something that happened. A UK man killed 5 people, including his mother, and then took his own life in the county's first mass shooting in over a decade. Jack Davison, 22, used a pump-action shotgun to kill his 51-year-old mother, Maxine Davison. He also left the house and shot and killed a 3-year-old Sophie Martin and her father, and Lee Martin, 43. Davison then shot and wounded 2 others on the other street. He next went to a park where he shot Stephen Washington, 59, who died at the scene, and Kate Shepard, 66, on a nearby street. She later died in the hospital. Davison turned the gun on himself as officers arrived on the scene. Officers said that the motive of the shooting is unclear and ruled out any form of terrorism. So that did occur over the weekend. So there you go. Some very weird times from time to time when we start talking on this little thing, for sure.
Rated R Safety Show. Sarcastic? Never.
So in breaking records that make no sense and things that we probably wouldn't care about, here you go. A new record for soda chugging has been set. YouTuber Eric Booker, who has a channel where he drinks various amounts of types of soda as fast as he can, has set a record after chugging a 2-liter gallon of sugar-free cola in just 18.45 seconds. The achievement was confirmed by the Guinness Book of World Records. Worth noting, last year, a man in Wisconsin drank a liter of gravy in 38.22 seconds, earning himself a world record. So there you go. If you want to start chugging some stuff and get a world record, call Guinness, see what you can get, and then take care of business doing whatever the hell it is that you're attempting to do.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
I don't know on how you would discover that you have you can actually do a gallon of gravy. I mean, I don't know if that's something that you would want to talk about. Anyways, in some news real quick, Tropical Storm Fred is set to hit the Florida Panhandle later today. The National Hurricane Center said that the storm will bring heavy rains, winds, and flooding to some of the coastal areas along the Florida and Alabama. Water levels could rise 2 to 4 feet in the storm surge warning. Governor Ron DeSantis declared a state of emergency for 23 of the state counties in anticipation of Fred. So that's some stuff that is going on inside of the world here in Florida. And I figured that it would probably be important to share it with you. So that's what I'm doing right now. Anyways, I think it's time for main story, but it's not really going to be a main story. So let's talk about it. I seem to be saying that quite more and more as of late.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's talk about it. It is exactly 30 minutes on the top of the hour, and we are talking and hanging out and doing the things that we do. So, I was considering talking about some other stuff this week, or when I was thinking about the show this weekend, and then I came about and was talking to somebody, and I said, hey, let's cover this, because I think that there is some truth to some of this stuff. And there is some truth to what we kind of go in and day out and talk about. So let's go over some of this. And I want you to think about this, especially if you've been interacting in any kind of business for some period of time, or even if you've established anything that you're wanting to try to accomplish, where you go, okay, I'm going to give myself this kind of a timeline on getting things done. Now, in thinking about this, just think about the grand scheme of things. Think about how you say you have a target in 30 days. Let's say, for instance, let me backtrack a little bit. Let me make sure that I can get some clear, be a little bit more clear as I'm talking about this. So let's say, for instance, you say, I'm going to clean my house in 30 days. Yeah, I don't know who the hell would say that, but let's say that. So I'm going to clean my house in 30 days. So you're giving yourself 30 days to clean your house. Okay, cool. That's what you're doing. But if you gave yourself 3 hours instead of 30 days to clean your house, you'll probably do it in that same time frame. And the interesting part is that as we set goals for ourselves, the timing of the goal is so important. And this applies to so many things inside of our life. Because I'm not saying, hey, everything needs to be a trajectory that you're trying to move to your next job. I'm not saying that you're trying to, we're all going to be safer in 3 hours. We're all going to be safer in 30 days. But when you start putting plans together, you know that the timeline plays such a key factor. I've been mesmerized for years now when I talk to someone and they say, oh, yes, we're going to do this in the next 2 months. And they're able to accomplish it in 2 months. But the other portion is that if you lower the timeline, it seems like those things are able to move quicker. What always amazes me is when people go, well, how were you able to do this quicker based on time? It's regard of the amount of momentum that you put behind it. It's in regards of the amount of time that you are willing to invest in getting certain things done. If I say to myself, yes, I'm definitely going to give myself a year to get something done, yeah, it's probably going to take me a year. And those are the things that people sometimes have a very hard time with, because you have to adjust that timeline. Now, keep in mind, there's certain things you're going to be able to move quicker on, or it will take you longer on, depending on what it is. I mean, I wouldn't probably set a goal of I'm going to be a millionaire by the end of the week. I mean, could it be done? Possibly. Is it probably going to happen? The trajectory of it happening? Well, that's a different story. So these are the things that you have to talk about. These are the things that you have to think about as you are moving forward. And the other portion, I mean, as you start building that momentum behind you and setting these things, be realistic when it comes to goals. And I know that you're probably going to sit back for a moment and go, well, this is not very safety stuff. This is not a lot of safety stuff, but it's goal-oriented stuff that really kind of applies to whatever you wanted to apply to. And mostly it's kind of a business application. It's mostly related to what is it that I have to do to make sure that things are going better for me? What is it that I have to do to make sure that things are going the way that I would love for them to? And that's what we tend to forget to do. We tend to forget how important it is to get things done. And sometimes those timelines play a huge factor into it. Opposed to us just sitting around and going, it'll happen when it happens. Well, that's what it will happen to your goal. I tell people all the time that you have to have a timeline on the goal. You have to have it written down. And as good old Dave Ramsey says all the time, a goal without a plan is a wish. And it's the truth. Think about it. Think about how that plan will not work out unless you build something around it. Unless you do something that's worth its while and build an accurate plan for it to move forward, you're just going to kind of sit there and go, oh, well, that was good. It will happen when it happens. Now, sometimes you have to actually make sure that that momentum is behind you in regards to getting those things done. But then again, what do I know? Just a guy behind a microphone.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com, brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you
can prevent wildfires.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You know how sometimes you're out and about and sometimes you have to access a report, maybe your bank account, maybe something that's important to you, but you don't want other people to be able to access it? I know you're probably sitting there for a moment going, well, why don't you just go into incognito mode and use that instead? Well, let me tell you something real quick. Incognito mode does not hide your activity. It doesn't matter what mode you use or how many times you clear your browser's history. Your internet service provider can still see every single website you visited. And that's why even when I'm at home, I never go online without using ExpressVPN. It doesn't matter who your internet provider is. It can be Verizon, Comcast, or even AT&T. The ISP in the U.S. can legally sell your information to ad companies. ExpressVPN is an app that reroutes your internet connection through their secure servers so your ISP can't see the sites that you visit. ExpressVPN also keeps all of your information secure by encrypting 100% of your data with the most powerful encryption available. Most of the times, I don't even realize I have ExpressVPN on. It runs seamlessly in the background and is so easy to use. All you have to do is tap one button and you're protected. ExpressVPN is available on all of your devices, phones, computers, even your smart TV. So there's no excuse for you not to be using it. Protect your online activity today with the VPN rated #1 by CNET and Wired. Visit my exclusive link at expressvpn.com/safety and you can get an extra 3 months free on a 1-year package. That's expressvpn.com/safety. expressvpn.com/safety to learn more. Okay, here we go. 40 minutes past the top of the hour. Into the black hole. This is Tommy Lindbergh. The song's readily available on Spotify and iTunes. So there you go, there you go, there you go. You know, it has that 2010s kind of feel to it. I don't mean that in a bad way. So let's get it moving and grooving, and let's start talking about the things that are going on inside of the world here because those are always important. So let's talk about it, because we talked about it quite a bit last week. Thursday's Field of Dream game had a dream ending for Chicago White Sox fan, and its Nielsen ratings were the dream for Fox. The walk-off win over New York Yankees at a specifically constructed baseball diamond in Dyersville, Iowa, was the most watched regular season baseball game of any network on any network in the last 16 years. The Field of Dream game, based on the 1989 Kevin Costner movie, had a final scene that hit for Hollywood after the New York Yankees took the lead at the top of the ninth, scoring 4 runs on the Chicago closer Tim Anderson, who recently admitted that he had never watched the movie, hit a 2-run homer into the cornfield with 1 out in the ninth inning, ending the game in a cinematic fashion. So there you go. So how many more of these games do you think they're going to come up with now? They're going to come up with and going, oh, we need to do this in the fashion where we're playing the dream game, the Field of Dreams and all that stuff. I mean, I don't know. Everybody has to do their own thing. So there you go. Some stuff to think about, but whatever. Anyways, wait a minute. Yes, wait. Like weight, scale weight. If you've been packing on the pounds lately, I've got some bad news for you. You can't blame it on middle age. A study published on Friday in the journal Science determined that metabolism, which has long thought of to decline and progressively throughout the adulthood, is actually fairly stable between the ages of 20 to 60 and then starts tanking. The international team of researchers determined that the metabolism is at its highest in infants, who burn calories at about 50% faster than adults. At that rate declines yearly for about 3% until the age of 20, when metabolism plateaus through the middle adulthood. At the age of 60, the slump returns, decreasing at about 1% per year. Bottom line, you can't blame middle age for the weight gain. So there you go. There you go, something to think about. Well, there's that pandemic. I guess someone needs to come up with a new name for the middle age spread thing. And don't worry, I've got plenty of other things to blame on my weight gain. The pandemic, pizza, beer, lack of exercise, buffet, the couch, the typical stuff that you would blame, that it's definitely not you for these things actually occurring. Anyways, it is 43 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out here on RadioBig.fm and on SafetyFM.com.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
Yeah, you know how it goes. You have to listen to at your own risk at everything that we have going on here at this station, because you never know what the hell we're going to get into. So let's start talking about some other things that are going on inside of the world here. Daytime driving to the drive-in. Yeah, you heard me correctly. Apparently, drive-in movies aren't exclusively to a nighttime thing anymore. Newly opened Loco Drive-In in Loudon, Tennessee is the first daytime drive-in movie theater, or we'll call it theater, in the U.S. It's equipped with a 35 by 63 foot LED video board. The theater is capable of showing films at any time of the day or night. The screen is affectionately known as the Locotron, uses Samsung technology to display a 4K picture similar to the traditional television. And for the first few weeks, the Loco Drive-In is showing classic films such as Smokey and the Bandit. Minions is a classic. I didn't know that we were going that far. And Tommy Boy, with newer films to come later, along with sports teams, concerts, and more. Large enough to host about 400 cars. The plan is for the drive-in is to host cars, boat shows, and other events. So hold on. So is there a lake nearby? Because that boat show thing's kind of confusing. Finally, I'll be able to take my kids to the movie so they don't fall asleep halfway through. And by my kids, I mean myself. So if you hurry, you might be able to watch Rush Hour during rush hour, if you get it. And then, let me think. Tommy Boy is a classic. I suppose I might also believe that anyone who goes to see this as a drive-in during the day might have some issues, if anything. I guess you are correct there. Attractive guff. Anything is possible, it seems like, with technology as things move forward. Anyways, let's talk about some other things. No winner for Saturday night's Powerball drawing. Wednesday's drawing will be for $274 million jackpot, or $197.7 million cash payout. No winner for Friday night's Mega Million drawing. Tuesday's drawing will be for $242 million, or $173 cash payout. So there you go. If you want to talk about the box office real quick, let's do that, because some stuff was going on for sure. And number 10 was Space Jam: A New Legacy with $1.1 million. At number 9, The Green Knight at $1.2 million. At number 8, Stillwater at $1.3 million. At number 7, Black Widow, $2 million. Old, $2.4 million. The Suicide Squad fell from number 1 to number 5 with $7.7 million. Respect made $8.8 million. The Jungle Cruise was at $9 million at number 3. Don't Breathe made $10.6 million. And raking it in the box office over the weekend. Are you ready for this? Free Guy, the new movie by Ryan Reynolds, hosted by Fox, but really part of Disney, at a $28.4 million. So there you go. That one might be definitely an interesting one to go take a look at if you're so inclined to do so. That one is definitely not on the streaming services, just in case you did not know that. So there you go. Hello, friendo. How are you? Hopefully everything's good and grand wherever you're located. A lot of stuff going on this morning. Anyways, let's continue talking a little bit more. Let's talk about Did You Know? Last month was the hottest July on record. It was also the hottest month that ever recorded on Earth, according to the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. I know we talked about this a little bit earlier. The combined land and ocean surface temperature in July was 0.93 Celsius above the 20th century average. The National Atmospheric Land Temperature was 1.54 Celsius above average in July, also the hottest ever recorded, and topping the last record set in 2012. In a release, the agency said the new record adds to the disturbing and disruptive path of climate change that has been on the globe. So, stupid climate change question will come up at some point, but it's kind of one of those weird things when it comes about when we start talking about climate change, because now this is another one of those fun things that have become very interesting. Because it has become politicized to some extent. So think about that as we talk more and more here.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Okay, so before I forget, let me tell you about this. Let me tell you that you are not alone. Whether you have struggled with suicide yourself or have lost a loved one, know that you're not alone. Hear about personal experiences from people in your local communities whose lives have been impacted by suicide and depression. For more information, you can go to afsp.org. That's afsp.org. Or call 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-TALK. Or text the word TALK to 741-741. Believe me, we can't do what we do without you. Nobody can replace you on this planet. Let's just be realistic, or any planet for that fact. Because, we all have our own purpose in life. So if you are struggling with anything, please make sure that you contact the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention at either at afsp.org or calling 1-800-273-TALK or texting the word TALK to 741-741. This conversation will be something that we have daily. We will talk about this every day as long as I'm on the air, because it's that important. You just can't go around not talking about it. It's that important for us to continue talking. Anyways, it is 49 minutes past the top of the hour. Let's continue talking about some things that are going on here today. Let's talk about some birthdays real quick. So taking it from the top, Josh Borgett, 21, Jack Met, 24, Grayson Chance, 24, Caleb Dressel, 25, the swimmer, Cameron Monaghan, 28, Rumor Willis, 33. Wow, Rumor Willis is 33. Wow. Colin Cassidy, 35, Arden Cho, 36, Vanessa Carlton, 41, Ryan Longwell, 47, Takeda Wahidi, 46, Tanya Rami, 47, JC Robertson, 52, Steve Carell, 59, Angela Bassett, 63, Madonna turned 63 today, and director James Cameron turned 67. So those are the birthdays that are going on the Hollywood side of the equation there. If you want to talk about some things that happened back on this date, let's do that. Back on this date, in 1977, Elvis Presley passes away at his Graceland mansion. The king was on the toilet when he suffered a heart attack. In his later years, his unhealthy diet and drug habit was notorious in contributing to his early death at the age of 42. Yeah, 42 years old is when our good old king passed away. So there you go. That happened back in 1977. If you're looking for some reasons to celebrate today, I got some days that we can cover with you real quick. National Tell a Joke Day, National Roller Coaster Day, National Airborne Day, and National Rum Day. So you could go to a theme park and potentially pull off 3 of those 4 things. The Airborne Day, I'm not sure, but the Tell a Joke, roller coaster, and rum, I'm pretty sure you can do them pretty much all at the same time there.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so just in case, if you've been going around, taking a look, and seeing a lot of people posting on social media that they're going to have the glorious chance of speaking at a conference coming up, I don't want to let you pass this by and feel left out because you can't post something on social media. So right now we have this little sign available for you. If you go to safetyfm.com/I am not, that's safetyfm.com/I am not. And the sign says, I am not speaking at any conference, at any safety conference or expo between September the 13th to September the 15th. So there you go. If you're looking at one of those things, you're more than welcome on getting a hold of the sign. I will actually put up the QR code if you're so inclined of actually picking that thing up. So I'll put it up here on the screen. You can actually just take a flash right there of it, and that will actually populate. All you have to do is hold down the picture logo or right click, depending if you have it on a computer, and you can download it and post it on your social media for your enjoyment itself. So there you go. 52 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely Monday.
Listen to our host
of the Rated R Safety Show.
Self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
So I have to keep on going back and forth and talking about all these interesting things all the time. But I keep on wondering as we're moving forward here and we're seeing all these variants of everything that's going on with COVID and all that kind of fun stuff. And this is the serious portion. How do you feel about going to an in-person event that's currently? Do you see the future of in-person events being essentially hybrid? And I'm being serious here. So do you think that when you go to an in-person event now, they should always have a hybrid option? Because you know that when you go to a virtual event, the in-person option most of the time is not there, at least currently. But do you think that this is something that we should start talking about? Do you think that this is something that we should start seeing where, hey, now you have an option and you can continue to have an option in regards of having both? Because I think that we're going to get into this weird portion right now, at least it seems that way, where you're seeing people doing in-person events and then they're getting canceled or rescheduled. So if you just do it as a hybrid, you have the fallback scenario. And yeah, it kind of sucks, but then how do you start pricing those things? I mean, I will tell you, this is not a joke. I have recently seen a virtual event that as part of the virtual event, because they had to go from in-person to virtual, they're giving away $10,000 in a raffle, and they've lowered the price to $2.99. Now, let me make sure that I'm clear on when I say $2.99. $2.99. Yeah, you heard me. $2.99. Not $299. $2.99, because that is how inaccurate things are going right now in regards to that you can actually verify that you're going to have a true in-person event. Is it getting crazy? I think so. But anyways, let's continue talking. Let me give you a little bit of whack facts before we get you too far down the path here. So let's start talking. To your fish, tapping on an aquarium glass is as loud as a rock concert. So there you go. The first ever movie was with outtakes in the credits was Smokey and the Bandits. That was back in 1977. Movie theater popcorn costs more per ounce than filet mignon. There are 92 known cases of nuclear bombs lost at sea. Most toilet flush in E flat. The word gorilla is derived from Greek word meaning a tribe of hairy women. So there you go. Think about that. Just don't call anybody a gorilla. Probably not a good idea. That could get you into to some stupid trouble there for sure. So if you need some scoops of BS, let me give you that real quick. Last week, Andrew Cuomo announced his resignation as the New York governor. Next, for sentimental reasons, he admittedly denied doing it. A 90-year-old woman has made headlines by becoming the oldest graduate of Brigham Young University's history. That's good news. The bad news is that she won't have her student loans paid off until she's 140. A massive Oak Brook, Illinois mansion built by former Major League slugger and Hall of Famer Frank Thomas just sold for millions. Why so much? Picture your typical athlete mansion, but on steroids. Ben Affleck turned 49. He celebrated by spending a quiet evening at home with a person he loves most. And then after Matt Damon left, he hung out with Jennifer Lopez. James Cameron is 67 today. He'll celebrate by releasing the 9 additional minutes of the footage from his last birthday. So there you go. Some things to think about as we are talking here this morning. Anyways, if I can give you a random joke for today, here you go. I usually meet my girlfriends at 12:59 because I like that one-on-one time. If you need a phone starter for today, try this one. If a mysterious benefactor wrote you a check for $5,000 and said, use it to solve a problem, what would you do with it? If you need something for the water cooler, you can try this one today. According to a survey, people taking selfies is the number one pet peeve at the gym. What is number 2? Are you ready for this? Naked people talking to you in the locker room. I don't know. I think the pet peeve might be the other way around. Number 1 is the naked people talking to me in the locker room, and number 2 is the people taking the selfies. But whatever. You do whatever you need to do inside of the gym because that's you being you. Anyways, I'm going to be going over to radiobig.fm if you want to come hang out with me for the next couple hours or so. I'll be doing some music, talking about some stuff that is going on inside of the world of news because that's what we do around here. So we'll do that kind of stuff. If you want to come and hang out, all you have to do is go to radiobig.fm. That's radiobig.fm, or you can go to the Live 365 app and look for Radio Big, and we will be there hanging out, you and I, together, doing the things that we're doing. Anyways, if I can leave you with a thought for today, I would love to leave you with this one. Learn nothing from life is you think that you're right all the time. Learn nothing. You will learn nothing from life is if you think that you are right all the time. What I will tell you is learn as much as you can because it's always important. Anyways, you've been listening to the Rated R Safety Show exclusively on radiobig.fm and safetyfm.com. Safety FM is the home of real safety talk. Radio Big and Safety FM could not do what they do without you. The most important part, the listener. I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
Duh. The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.